dive into some of the specific alternative venues, I want to talk about gauging capacity. This is an important area, and I think when you're working in an alternative venue, you really want to get an idea of the square footage of usable space for your venue. So you want to look to back out things like coat check, things like check-in and registration, the catering prep area if you need one, any kind of storage area for materials. Again, all things that may be covered in a more traditional space. Alternative venues that are not used to doing events might not have these spaces already mapped out. So what you want to do is you want to demand or create a scaled floor plan. You want to make sure that you have all these different elements included in your floor plan, and you'll have an idea of how much space you have left to work with for your event. Another issue in gauging capacity is addressing the influx of arrivals. A lot of these alternative venues, they have no pre-function space, they have no foyer space. When you do an event and it calls for 6 o'clock and you have 150 people, at 6:10 you could have 100 people lined up outside the door. So how are you going to address this influx of arrivals? What are you going to do to kind of create your floor plan so that your event runs smoothly? Restrooms. You want to know how many are in the space. You want to know where they're located. You want to know what types of restrooms there are. Again, another example of something that might not have been configured originally for an event, and you just want to know what you're working with in advance. You also want to review the access and the egress points. You want to look at the size and the number of elevators. If you're in an active commercial building, is it possible to have an elevator dedicated to your event? That's going to help on your event flow as well. Maybe it's possible to have the coat check located in the lobby level instead of in your event space. Again, that'll give you more space to work with within your event. Another element of gauging capacity is choke points, areas within the event space that have the potential for guests to get backed up. So things like check-in, like we talked about, or possibly a transition from a reception to a seated dinner. You want to know what your choke points are going to be and how best to address them in an alternative venue.